courtroom this afternoon.
This shouldn't have taken this long. This is a high-profile case. Clark County, at any jurisdiction, is used to having high-profile cases when the media is present to be the first on the docket. He was number 10. We sat here for 3 hours. The family didn't want to leave, thinking that they would miss the opportunity if the case came up. And so with that, the entire family, all of us in that courtroom and the 500 plus people on Zoom had to endure every single case. And if you all listen to every single case, you can see people that pistol whipped a woman got off on less technicalities or given bond. Everybody was given bond. We need to do better in Clark County. We just re-victimized an entire family of victims that are here to have justice for Meshay and Layla. And so for all of us sitting here and all the text messages from police officers to text messages from the media, every one of us knew that this was wrong. And even the DA asked, can we call number 10? And they blamed it on the judge blamed it on the jail. Well, then get David out here. Get Kathleen out here. Hold them accountable for re-victimizing the same victims that this county had already victimized when they didn't save the daughter, when they didn't save the only granddaughter. I can't even imagine what Nicole and Kenny are going through right now. I can't. All of us were there, and we had to endure the misjustices, the inorganization of attorneys versus clients, and they don't know what they're representing, to over and over again excuses that the Zoom call, that they're not used to seeing this many people. Well, then put it on a webinar and enter people, as we all do in our professions, enter people when they have to talk. Turn it off, you know? But stop making excuses. We heard too many excuses in this courthouse today for 3 hours for a family of this case, this caliber, not to have him sitting there. So let's talk about him for a minute. Based on, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, he didn't care. He has an emptiness. That's the monster that we allowed 3 hours to wait for. So I'll take some questions, but this should not happen. And any good advocate and advocacy group would be appalled, but at this point, the media, police officers, 500 people online, we don't support the people that were ticking off the judge. We're not asking anyone to do that to anybody, or better yet, in the courthouse. You need to respect the system, but you need to respect the victims too. And the victims are the ones behind me and the ones that went out the back door today, our clients. Those grandparents deserve better, especially on the watch of Clark County. And Clark County Jail is Clark County. And once again, another part of the system just failed the victims. So there's a GoFundMe. Between the GoFundMe and the funeral home and NW Cave, our goal is $25,000. We're at about $15,000 before we walked in today. And we were hoping he'd plead out and say, my client is pleading guilty, you know, but it doesn't seem like it's going to go that way. So this may be a long, drawn-out situation, and we'll keep being in front of all of you to make sure that all of Clark County is held accountable. We're not here to beat you guys up. We're not here to complain. We're here to hold you accountable, to do what you say you're going to do for the victims. We all need to be safe walking these streets. And right now, there's some people that got $25,000, $15,000, $30,000 bails, you know, and they'll be out on the street. I would say, watch your backs, because people reoffend, and the people they gave those low bails to have been reoffenders, and they still gave them a very small bail, which, you know, they'll go across the street and get their bail and be back out on the street, and then they'll be back in front of Judge Clark or somebody else, and then what? It's a vicious cycle. We have to do better. We just have to do better.